Alright, what's going on, guys? So, Wunzy Gaming here again, and I'm going to bring this video. This is kind of a rant, I guess you could say, of where hunters are at in Legion and why I'm not too hyped about the two ranged specs, Marksman and Beastmaster, in this. So, those of you guys that have been paying attention to the DPS charts, DPS meters, the DPS rankings, or any of those that if you guys look at Noxic, there's a few other ones. Icy Veins I know has theirs, Reddit posts and stuff like that. I know there are a lot of them have different, as far as where everybody's at 1 through 5, but typically the top 5 is the top 5. You know what I mean? So it's usually, there'll be different, it's kind of like college football where somebody will have this guy at number 1, another guy will have this guy at number 1, but top 5 is usually the top 5. So if you pay attention to that, you will notice that BM and Marksman Hunters are usually about 3 or 4 apart, with BM typically being in front of them by a very slim margin. This isn't a knock on Marksman. But they're also in the back of the list of a lot of people's top 24. Top 24 being the 24 DPS specs currently in Legion. So it feels like, well, actually, it doesn't even feel like the most viable spec right now is survival. If you want to do the most DPS, survival seems to be the way to go. And to me, that's it's kind of messed up, because I didn't roll this hunter to play a melee DPS character. I have melee DPS characters. I have a rogue. I have one of each class, but my druid is feral. I have the rogue. I have a havoc demon hunter. I have a arms/fury warrior. So it's like, I wanted to roll this character to be a ranged DPS. I wanted that ranged DPS. So naturally, I was like, okay, I'm going to be a Beastmaster Hunter because they looked really fun. I think the builds, they're really streamlined. And the DPS is solid, but it's not great. So in Mythics and Heroics, on a single target boss fight with not much moving pieces, no AoE, because AoE is where you see a lot of DPS classes kind of fluctuate their numbers. Havoc Demon Hunters, Marksman Hunters especially, because Barrage is is one of their main cooldowns, whereas with BM it typically is not. Usually Murderer Crows is the higher single target DPS ability, especially for BM. So if it's not an AoE fight, if it's a single target boss, I could probably pull 180 to 230k DPS in that 50k window right there, which is not bad for a single target, especially for somebody that last time I did that was like 838. I'm 841 gear score now, so that's not too bad for what hunters are doing. But it's still not great for an 841 gear score. I should be, easily over 200 and be doing fine. So a lot of people, they talk about BM, they talk about the AoE, and they're like, dude, freaking the AoE for Beastmaster is great. You have Beast Cleave. Beast Cleave is not that great. It's good. It's not great. It's definitely not Barrage. Now, I understand I can take Barrage if I want to, but I'll be sacrificing some single target deeps, so I wasn't really willing to do that. But, people that seem to be toting up Beast Cleave like it's the next best thing, it's really not. Even when you get the Golden Dragon ability that makes your hottie also do a Beast Cleave, it's still not that great, because the focus is heavy. The focus cost for multi-shot's heavy, and you want to still be using Kill Command, because that is your highest DPS move. Which Kill Command's, 35 focus? I don't remember off the top of my head right now. But so here's the thing. Marksman seems like it's getting a lot better with gear, which is natural. Every spec's gonna get better with gear, right? But Marksman seems to be jumping a little bit ahead of BM as we get into the higher gear points. But it's still pretty close. So here's a few changes that I think might help the hunter class, and this is more geared specifically towards BM, because this hunter is BM. I have a rank 17 weapon, I think I'm on tier 17, about to get tier 18, so that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm getting close to my second golden. I need to be tier 21 to get my second golden on this, the way I'm building it, so I'm getting there. So what I think the mastery needs to change. Now, the mastery being, your mastery is the percentage of your mastery is how much more percentage your pet damage does. I think that's fine, but I think they need to add something to that. I feel like you should also increase your Cobra shot damage, maybe not by that percentage, because that'd be insane, but like half of that percentage. So if you have 48% mastery, your Cobra Shot damage is also increased by 24%, and that ability is only active while your active pet is alive. So if your pet dies, you lose that buff. I feel like that's a way to balance it. That's a way to prioritize. If your pet goes down, you have to revive him. You can't just sit there and Cobra Shot and be like, okay, I can just write off my mastery. I feel like that would make BM hunters viable with the other classes without being too powerful. I feel like if you give them the full mastery for Cobra Shot, let's say you have 40, like my character is like 47% mastery, 33% crit, 18% haste, 47% mastery. That would be insane if you do 47% increased Cobra Shot damage, because you have a talent that also gives you 16% passively for having Hottie in your main beast out. So that'd be nuts. So I think that cutting it in half is totally fine. And I mean, you're doing a lot less DPS. Like, I was in a mythic the other day, and the Havoc Demon Hunter, which Havoc is not a great single target DPS spec either, or class either. You know, Demon Hunters, they're not insane on single target. People talk about their AoE, sure, but Monk AoE is more broken than freaking Demon Hunter, and so is Unholy DKs. I mean, let's be honest. You could talk about Havoc Demon Hunters all you want, but I haven't seen a Havoc Demon Hunter hit 2 mil DPS like I've seen an Unholy DK do. So let's chill out on the Havoc hate for the AoE. But anyway, he was pulling 272,000 DPS, single target DPS, and it blew me out of the water. So I feel like I crunched the numbers a little bit with my average. My average is, you know, I'm gonna get up to about like what 250, 260 maybe if I keep the rotation going. So we'll see how that goes. As far as marksman, I feel like they just gotta streamline it a little bit more, scale the damage a little bit better, because marksman's having trouble too unless it's an AoE boss, because barrage being part of their main rotation, they obviously have a advantage in the AoE pulls, AoE bosses that spawn ads and stuff like that, so their numbers are going to fluctuate and they're going to show that. So I feel like there needs to be a buff to one of the hunter specs, if not both of them. Probably won't get both of them, but if they at least buff one of them, I think it's going to be fine, because I feel like it's kind of unfair to be like, look, if you want to be a viable raider, because this is what the guilds are saying, you got to be survival because we need the top DPS. So it's rough, and I know Blizzard, they don't really deal with that third party stuff so much, but I think it is important for the game, because you know, like I said, I didn't roll my hunter to play survival. I have survival as an off spec. I got the Eagle Talon Spear and I did it, and I'm gearing it. I don't like it. I don't like the way survival plays. It doesn't play like BM. So I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Those are some of the changes that I think survival's fine where it's at, because it's very viable, and it's not overpowered. But I think one of the range specs has to be buffed, or some. You got to do something. And I know there's going to be those guys in this video that are watching this and they say, "Well, I pull like 260k on my hunter. I don't think there's anything wrong with it." Look, man, I'm not saying, you know, if you're pulling in the mid to high 200s on your hunter, you're in a very small percentile of people, right? Because I go there. I can go there if I get my procs right. I can easily be in the 250s, you know, pushing close to damn near 300. But I mean, you got to get the god tier of freaking procs. Like, I have to have my freaking what is that one when I crit with my auto shots? I totally forgot. One with the pack. I gotta like proc one with the pack on like every auto shot for a few auto shots in a row and get those stomp damage, and those got to be crits. And then my freaking kill commands got to crit with Hottie and Moose Jesus. Yes, my moose's name is Moose Jesus. So it's I'm not talking to you guys obviously, but the average player, they're struggling with hunters, and they're struggling to even find spots in casual raiding guilds. So and then that's kind of rough, man. So I feel like at least buff one of them. BM, I think, with the change that I suggested with making Cobra Shot incorporated into the mastery a little bit, I think that would definitely help. Because here's the thing, again, with that, you can't just spam Cobra Shot, because kill command again takes up a lot of your focus, murder crows takes up a lot of your focus, and you usually only can get one, maybe two Cobra Shots before your kill command goes off cooldown. So it's not like you're spamming Cobra Shot either. So we'll see what Blizzard does. I'm sure it's on their radar. I'm sure that they didn't plan for both of the range specs to be as bad as they are. So we'll see. We'll hold on. You know, it's not too late. It's still very early in the expansion, so we'll see what happens. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you disagree with anything I said, feel free to comment down below, and we can chat it out. We can have a friendly conversation. if you like the video, hit the like button, and also subscribe. Subscribing really helps. I'm trying to put out as much content as I can, and check out the Twitch. I'll put the Twitch in the description. I'll be live streaming tonight. We're gonna do some mythic raids on my demon hunter. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I think you guys had a question of what I'm doing. I'm doing the Suramar. I call it the Suramar Gauntlet. I don't remember the exact name of it, but you're like training Withered and you get points and all this crazy stuff. But hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope to catch you guys in the next one, and more importantly, I hope you guys have a freaking awesome day.